Hi, welcome back to Helping Heather. You're helping me and I'm helping you learn about nutritional ketosis today. So I've had a few shorts out there that I've gotten some good reviews on there, and I wanted to do a little bit more in depth on nutritional ketosis so we can understand that. And I wanted to do a video because I have a longer time to explain. So we can be doing eating keto foods. We can say we're doing a keto diet. Um, we can eat foods that are low carb. We can try and get into nutritional ketosis by eating net carb foods. So that's where we take the total carbs of a food and minus the fiber and sugar alcohols on the label. And then we can come back with a lower number of carbohydrates because people will say that the fiber and the sugar alcohols don't impact your blood sugar. And thus you can eat them and use net carbs and stay under 50 net carbs in a day and get into nutritional ketosis. That could be true for some people. You have to know for yourself. So I'm always going to say everybody has to understand how their body works. And if that works for you, that's awesome. But you have to test it, and you have to test it by testing your ketones when you do that and testing your blood sugars, because everybody reacts differently to different types of foods and different things and ingredients even. So it could be that you're getting into some of the keto snacks that are packaged that you can buy and have that you don't feel so like different and than your friends or other people eating regular things, and you have a treat here or there. It could also be that it's just easier, more convenient for you. You have more money, so you can do that rather than having to spend more time cooking and doing things and making alternate choices for your snacks and your foods. But what's going to end up happening, possibly other than kicking yourself out of nutritional ketosis, it could be that you start having cravings. You start wanting 7 of those things instead of 1 or 2, or now you want ice cream or chips, and it starts opening the door for some other things. Because with nutritional ketosis, it's not like if we say, oh, we're doing the keto diet, everyone's like, oh, it's a diet, right? It's different. If it's different than that. You have to change the energy your body is using, and then also get to the place where your cells actually can use the ketones, because they've forgotten how to do that. They've forgotten how to do that because we're just eating sugar, eating carbs all the time that our body turns into sugar. So that's pastas, that's breads, that's potatoes, that's sweet potatoes, that's bananas, that's fruit. Like all of that, our body takes it in and goes, is it sugar, protein, or fat? That's all the energy sources it can use. That's it. That's why those are called macros, and that's what make up calories. So, it's going to turn all of those foods right into sugar or glucose in our body. And so that's why it seems like you might be doing okay, but actually, no, if you're eating any of those foods, your body cannot use fat for energy. Even meats and proteins get turned into sugar if you eat too much in one time that your body can use. It turns into sugar with a process called gluconeogenesis. Yeah. So you can end up turning meat into sugar in your body. And that's the source of energy that your body does prefer and your brain does prefer, but your body knows best what to do with it, to store when you have excess. And guess what happens? Your liver gets to work. The insulin, so when you have carbohydrates that are high or glucose that is high, say, because carbohydrates turn to glucose, high protein gluconeogenesis turns to glucose. So when glucose is high, your pancreas puts out insulin. The word insulin also is associated with insulate. So insulin works with the liver, okay, to store the excess glucose that your body cannot use. Your liver gets going with insulin, and insulin sends a signal to start turning that extra glucose into fats. And these fat chains, and it's visceral fat stuffed around your organs. It gets stuffed into there, and that's a way to be stored for later. So every time we overeat, whatever our body can't use of that energy that is glucose gets stored as visceral fat. Everybody, no matter what. If you don't burn it, it gets stored. And that's what causes fatty liver, causes even more insulin issues, because it's all around your pancreas. It's all around here. And you can be skinny fat, where you look fairly skinny, but then you get a DEXA scan and you see all this visceral fat in there. And that's because of extra glucose. I mean, it's just what happens. And so in order to unwind all of that and make it come back, make our bodies burn the fat. Our bodies don't burn fat straight. It doesn't just burn fat. What it does, that fat, the liver then, when there's no, okay, let me say, so in order to do the process in the first place, burning fat, you have to have your insulin down low, so it stops doing the storing of the fat. To bring your insulin down low, you have to have low glucose. But also recent research has found and discovered that there's an insulin response with low fat, high protein, with lean protein sources. So especially if you eat a lot of it, lean protein can create an insulin response, not a sugar. And so then that's going to be hard for the liver to reverse the process and start unwinding the fat and turning it into ketones that our body uses as energy. Because our body doesn't use fat as an energy directly. It turns the fat into a ketone, right? So there's that metabolic process that has to happen kind of in reverse to allow the ketones to be flooding in our systems. And that's when we know we're burning fat, that we're turning into fat burners and not glucose burners, not sugar burners. So at that point, when the ketone, we're not done yet. So like our body's starting to go, okay, we haven't had glucose in 3 to 7 days. All right, let's start unwinding some of these fat molecules and turning them into into ketones. Okay. And it'll do it with the fat we eat as well. It'll preference that one first, right? It'll preference the dietary fat first, and then it will go into storage. And that's just smart. That's just smart. It's going to wait to use the stores until it doesn't have any more. So if we're going and overeating a ton of fat on keto, then we're not going to burn a lot of fat. So we got to remember that piece too. However, initially starting out to get into ketosis, eating the fat is fine to start off with. We just need to remember to keep our sugars low and also our moderate protein. I'm trying eating fatty protein or fat with lean protein to avoid shutting off insulin response. It's a spike, okay? Another lean protein is whey protein that can create an insulin response, and that is in our protein shakes. So be mindful of that, and also check your ketones, check your blood sugar. I had a sugar-free protein shake with whey protein this past week. I'm still burning ketones. It was okay. It seemed to be okay for me. But I think if I leaned into that and did it every day, it would be a problem. So there's whey protein also in cottage cheese and some of those things. So just be mindful of that and always check your ketones, okay? So here we go. Back to unwinding the fat and into ketosis. So let's say we're doing that regularly. We're checking our blood sugars, we're checking our ketones, and we see our blood sugars are nice and low and our ketones are getting into the 2s and 3s, and that's good. We're feeling like good energy. Well, our body has to still remember how to use the ketones because we've been using sugar for years and years. And so the cells and every parts of our body have to be wakened up and have to get a taste of the ketones and, oh, I remember what to do with this, and start turning them on. So you still have a bumpy ride, even if you start to feel a little bit of energy and you're getting ketones. You got to give yourself some grace. 3 to 7 days to start, and then just be mindful for yourself. 10 days, 2 weeks, But if you cheat, because this isn't a diet necessarily. I know we're saying keto diet everywhere. We're seeing that everywhere. It's not really a diet. It's a change in energy. It's a shift in energy. And if we treat it like a diet and we just go have a cheat day, we have undone this whole process and we must start again. And we get frustrated because, hey, I felt so good before and now I feel like crap again. Well, we did it to ourselves. And that's where the discipline comes in. So we really need to have a why figured out. You have to have a why that matters to you. figured out. And maybe even like if it's not going to be a lifestyle forever, have an end goal and time frame in mind. Like, what do you need to reach in order for you to be okay? I'm going to shift. Because actually, burning ketones, like doing this nutritional ketosis, is very therapeutic and helpful, especially if you're unwinding this visceral fat. Your organs are going to be healthier. You're going to have overall health. Your brain really likes it. It does some healing work in the brain. It does some healing work with hormones. It does all that healing work with pancreas and blood sugars and things like that. But actually, the healthiest individuals are not just solely ketone burners. They are metabolically flexible, so they can shift from glucose to ketone burning and be okay. And that's actually the healthiest people. So actually coming up with a goal for yourself to get to that place is the ultimate goal for longevity and health. Having a goal, if I want to burn off some, doing a waist circumference, and I mean, even all of the different measurements, so you track those, would be more of a win than looking at the scale for weight. Because I mean, I'm down, I think yesterday I checked, I was 184. I think that's like 5 pounds in a week. It's not fat. That's water. So with this water rebalancing, water flushing out because of shifting from sugar burner to fat burner, it's just sodium lost and water lost, more so than fat. I can measure, bloating in my waist as well, but over time you can measure that your fat is going down from your waist by doing your measurements, and also your pants are going to be less and stuff, and that's good. So that's what you want to be focused on more so than the weight on the scale, but it's going to go down, right? And if it stalls, that's fine. That's natural. And you could have these different periods of time when you're maybe needing to bring down, like maybe for a time your net carbs of 50 is working really good to keep you in nutritional ketosis, and then you hit a stall. There's a thing called carb creep that we have, and you've stopped measuring carbs, you're just eyeballing it, it. And when you have a stall, especially when you're not like keto or really low carbs like I am, and the stuff you're eating is going to be way under 20 in a day, then it's best to probably start measuring what you're eating and doing like MyFitnessPal. And I like MyFitnessPal because I've typed in all kinds of my own recipes in there. So it's my favorite one to measure carbohydrates. So you're going to want to do something like that. And I don't always trust everybody else's entries, so I might put my own in there, but if I can get one that's close, because I only care about carbs necessarily, you don't need all the rest of them, then I'm fine with it. So, but tracking for a week when you have stalled will show you if you've crept your carbs up a little bit more. And if you're still at the 50 net carbs, then maybe it's time to bring it down to 30 net carbs and see what happens, or stop doing net carbs and try to do 50 total carbs. Change the food you might be eating, try to introduce a little bit more fat, rein in your protein, try a few things like that if you're having problems staying in nutritional ketosis. But we have to change our thinking. This isn't just a diet. This isn't just, I'm going to change this way I'm eating. I can have a couple cheat days and all that. No, we're changing our body's chemistry, and we're getting our body to run on something else. And it is healthy. It's not unhealthy. Having extra salt, like 3,000 to 4,000 milligrams of salt for me to get comfortable in the nutritional ketosis as I was losing my water and my sodium and electrolytes from flushing out the carbs and the water from keto and also from Jardiance, getting leg cramps, feeling like crap. The difference between before I had a glass of water with like half a teaspoon of salt to after, 9 day. And it's just common knowledge. So if you are diabetic, on medications, doing anything like that, having medical issues with your heart or anything, you definitely need to be talking to your doctor before you start this. But if your doctor just thinks keto is, oh, you're going to put yourself in ketoacidosis, and they're not well versed in keto, in doing in nutritional ketosis and putting your body into that, you might need to reach outside of that. Because I know I've been super discouraged, and honestly, it's taken me a lot of years to get back to the place I'm at because of being fearful of what my doctor said about it. And, oh, your cholesterol is going up. Oh, this and that. Okay. Yeah, that might be a thing. If I get there to a place where blood tests are coming back and my cholesterol skyrocketed from keto, then I'm going to start looking at the videos other people have already done, actual MD doctors, about what it's like to have high cholesterol with keto and how to look deeper into the blood work. And then I'm going to have to educate my doctor and get him to look into those resources, because I guess this is new. But to me, I've insisted this is the way I'm going to manage my diabetes and get healthy. This is the way I'm going to do it. This is the best way. I have the most energy. I feel the best. Yeah. Unfortunately, food is kind of boring, but I mean, chicken Caesar salad out for dinner, that's not bad. My point with going out for dinner was hanging out with people, getting to know them, and visiting. So it's a knife and fork thing. It's kind of easy to just eat. You don't have to worry about how you're going to hold a burger and not get juice down your arms, or eat some nacho, like it's pretty simple. So that's better. That's kind of one thing checked off the list for how to have your manners. And then, yeah, I don't know, just always having different kinds of dips with bacon puffs seems to be okay. I might get sick of that and then have to find a different snack. And another one alternate that I really like is flackers. So flaxseed crackers with like cheese and meat, a little bit of cream cheese, something like that. I'll get into something new. Pepperoni chips are super good too. So I spied at No Frills last time that they already had bagged, already cut nice thin pepperoni pieces. So slices. So I think I'm going to grab those because pepperoni chips are super yummy. You throw them in we have like a weird air fryer, but if it was a normal one, I'd probably try the air fryer. But in the oven, I'll just put them in the oven. And then cheese chips. If I could find Wisps again, those are yummy too. And those are a nice little crunchy snack. Because for me, if it's not a sweet snack, I'm wanting a crispy, crunchy snack that's salty. So works. I'm going to try and get into different themes for dinners again, and that's helpful. So like Tuesday is Taco Tuesday. So I have taco soup or taco salad for myself. I have done cheese shell tacos, which are kind of good. Like you just put parchment on your cookie sheet, and a mound of cheese. Oven's 350. I think 5-10 minutes, maybe 15. Just take a look. Look at 5, look at 10, look at 15. When they start to get a little bit brown on the edge, they still look liquidy, but they're brown on the edge. Take them out and let them cool all the way, and then that's your cheese shell. And you can kind of, bend it up, and it's a little bendy. It's perfect. They're smaller tacos because you're going to just do a cheese shell that's like maybe like that. So you maybe have 2-3 of the little tacos. Yeah, satisfying. I mean, lettuce wrap tacos is another thing, and I could also get the keto wraps. They're high fiber, and I think they push me over my 20 grams in one, so I try and stay away from those. But other people might be able to get away with it. Yeah. Let's see. So Saturday Platter Day, there's a lady who's Australian. She's on TikTok, and she does Saturday Platter Day, and I really love that. She's like, because we don't effing cook on Saturday. I'm like, oh, nice. But it's kind of expensive to get. Like, it's basically, she does like charcuterie with raw veg and crackers and stuff like that for each person. She might do a seafood themed one or whatever, but it's kind of like to get the meat, cheese, olives, crackers, all that sort of stuff. It's kind of expensive, but yeah, could try that. It doesn't have to have 7 different kinds of cheeses or meats, I guess. So I could do that. That's what and then I always do like a Sunday roast. A Sunday roast is the favorite. So it might be roast chicken, roast pork, roast beef. Roast beef is expensive now, so it's far less that. Could be a turkey, a duck, lamb. I also count like making a meatloaf as a roast because I'm going to do mashed potatoes and gravy. And I do mashed potatoes and mashed cauliflower. And if I'm making gravy that I want, I will thicken it with arrowroot powder, and that seems to be perfect. Just a couple tablespoons or a couple teaspoons of the arrowroot powder in the gravy and the mix and the drippings, and it's perfect. Oh, yeah, I could do a ham. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Choices, but it's always a Sunday roast. And then usually peas and Q's, we call them peas and carrots, and maybe a salad or something. Um, I'll have just a little bit so it doesn't put me over my carbs in the moment and seems to be okay. I've done keto Yorkshire with almond flour. It works out. And sometimes I make Yorkshire plates and Yorkshire pudding for my family, and they love that. And then we might have a dessert on Sunday too. I'm good if I have like a square of dark chocolate. I don't really need a full dessert lately. That could change depending on my hormones. Who knows? But right now I'm good. So that's kind of the themes. Today I'm cooking pork back ribs in the oven. Just salt, pepper, garlic powder on them, and have them in a 325 oven for a good 2 hours. And then they're nice and crispy and good. And I made a coleslaw as well as a pasta salad. So that'll be on the side for both. Like I can do the coleslaw, that's keto for me. So I'll have coleslaw and ribs, and that's my supper tonight. And hubby and daughter, teenager, they can have both of those things with their ribs, and that's good. Tomorrow, yeah, I found some purse salami too. So I have some like shelf stable salami sticks that I stuck in my purse. I'm like, there you go. If I feel like I need a little something, something, a little something extra, I can just open and rip into one of those, and there we go. And it's pretty delicious stuff. So I guess when you preserve something, it's good. So it's good for purse salami. So anyway, I hope I described a nutritional ketosis very well. So like my blood glucose readings have been 5.4. I've been getting ketone readings of 2s and 3s. And it's good, just going really, really well. So I hope everybody else is doing okay. If you have any questions for me, if you want me to do a video on something specific to do with keto or anything else, let me know. And I will work on that. And I hope that was easy to understand, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Take care.